Dawn brought the promise of adventure when 4 young medical students gathered at the central station, ready to leave behind their books and intense classes. Hello, welcome, enjoy, subscribe, and activate notifications. Their names were Luke, Ralph, Michael, and Thomas, 4 inseparable friends who shared not only a passion for medicine, but also the pleasure of living each moment to the fullest. They had grand plans for the long Santana holiday and decided to travel to the peaceful Florian Island, a serene refuge surrounded by the blue of the sea and the tranquility of a place forgotten by time. The boat trip was full of laughter and stories, each sharing their expectations for the weekend. The island promised days of relaxation, but also the possibility of new adventures. Luke, the most charming and fearless of the group, was known for his romantic conquests and was soon challenged by Thomas, the silent leader, to conquer one of the girls they would meet on the island. If you truly fall in love with one of them, you should write a novel about it. Otherwise, I will write about your failure, Thomas teased with a mischievous smile. They arrived at the beach house of Thomas's grandmother, Mrs. Celeste, a young at heart, generous-hearted lady. The house was a true paradise, with its colonial facade, surrounded by colorful gardens and a stunning view of the ocean. Mrs. Celeste welcomed them with warm hugs and a lovingly prepared feast, making the boys feel immediately at home. Florian Island was known for its unspoiled beauty. White sand beaches stretched along the coast, meeting crystal-clear waters that reflected the blue sky. The streets were paved with ancient stones, and the houses, with their colorful facades, recalled a simpler time. It was a place where the clocks seemed to tick slower, allowing visitors to truly appreciate every moment. On the first night, while having dinner under a starry sky, Luke, Ralph, Michael, and Thomas talked about their plans for the coming days. The atmosphere was filled with joy and anticipation. It was during this dinner that Thomas reiterated the challenge, raising the stakes. Luke, you've always had a way with words. If you can't truly fall in love with one of the girls and write a novel, I'll write a story detailing all your failures, Thomas said, provoking laughter around the table. Luke, accepting the challenge with a confident smile, began to pay more attention to the people around him. Among the guests were some of Mrs. Celeste's friends and her grandchildren, including Elizabeth and Marianne, 2 charming young women who quickly captured the attention of the boys. Elizabeth, with her shy and sweet manner, and Marianne, with her free and adventurous spirit, were sisters, daughters of a longtime friend of Mrs. Celeste. The next morning, the friends decided to explore the island. They rented bicycles and rode along trails that meandered through the lush landscape, passing hidden waterfalls and stunning ocean views. During these outings, Luke took every opportunity to chat with Elizabeth and Marianne, trying to get to know them better and determine which of them could be the muse of his romance. The days passed quickly between walks on the beach, dips in the sea, and long conversations under the stars. Luke tried to get closer to Elizabeth, enchanted by her sweetness and beauty. However, during dinner, Michael, always a bit clumsy with words, ended up revealing some of Luke's past antics and love affairs, which made the girls more reserved and cautious around him. Luke was frustrated, but his determination only grew. He decided that if he couldn't win over Elizabeth, he would try to get closer to Marianne, whose adventurous nature seemed an even greater challenge. Meanwhile, Thomas watched everything with an enigmatic smile, curious to see how the story would unfold. That night, Luke and Marianne decided to take a walk on the beach. The full moon illuminated the sand, creating a magical atmosphere. Marianne, with her free and carefree spirit, seemed like a character straight out of a fairy tale. They talked about their lives, dreams, and fears, and Luke felt a genuine connection with her. However, something kept him from completely surrendering to this new feeling. While Luke focused on his efforts to win her over, Ralph began to develop an unexpected friendship with Elizabeth. They spent hours talking about everything, from their future dreams to the small joys of everyday life. Elizabeth, who was initially reserved, began to trust Ralph, appreciating his sincerity and good humor. Ralph was a pure-hearted boy who was always willing to help others. His friendship with Elizabeth began to grow, and he found himself thinking about her more often than he expected. Elizabeth, in turn, felt safe with Ralph, something she hadn't experienced in a long time. They shared laughter and confidences, creating a bond that went beyond simple friendship. Marianne, in turn, began to take an interest in Michael. His clumsy and honest nature charmed her, and they would spend afternoons exploring the island together, sharing laughter and discoveries. Michael was fascinated by Marianne's energy and courage, and his admiration for her grew with each passing day. They discovered each other and themselves through these little adventures, creating memories that they would cherish forever. During a solitary walk along the beach, Luke came across Mrs. Celeste, who was sitting on a rock, gazing at the sea with thoughtful eyes. He approached her and, after a few moments of silence, began to unburden himself. He told her about an old crush, a girl he had met during a trip to the beach when he was younger. He described her as the most fascinating person he had ever met, but he had never learned her name. All that remained of that memory was a cameo he had given her, wrapped in a green ribbon. Mrs. Celeste listened attentively, her eyes shining with understanding. She knew that behind the conqueror's facade, Luke was a young man with a true heart, capable of great feelings. Luke, sometimes true love is closer than we imagine. Don't look only with your eyes, but also with your heart, she advised, her voice soft as a breeze. Luke reflected on Mrs. Celeste's words as he walked back to the house. He realized he was trying to force a feeling that should have been natural. He decided that instead of trying to win someone over to win the bet, he would follow his heart and let true love reveal itself. The next night, as everyone gathered around the campfire, Elizabeth approached Luke. She looked nervous but determined. "Luke, there's something you need to know," she said, handing him a small package. Luke, confused, opened the package and found the cameo he had given to the mysterious girl years ago. He looked at Elizabeth, astonished. "I'm the girl from the beach," she confessed. "When you gave me this cameo, I never forgot that moment. But I was too young and shy to approach you again. When we met again here, I recognized you immediately, but I didn't know how to reveal it without seeming strange." Luke was silent for a moment, absorbing the revelation. It all made sense now. Fate, in some mysterious way, had brought them together again. He smiled, feeling a wave of happiness and relief. "Elizabeth, I've never stopped thinking about you. Maybe it was fate that brought us together again." Elizabeth smiled shyly, feeling a mixture of relief and joy. "I've never forgotten you either, Luke. I've always wondered what would have happened if we had met again." With the mystery solved and his heart finally at peace, Luke began to write the promised novel. He wrote not only about the bet and the challenges, but about the true love he found on Florian Island. Each page was a tribute to Elizabeth and the magical twist of fate that brought them together. As Thomas read the first few pages, he couldn't help but smile. He knew that Luke's story was more than just a simple win in a bet. It was the beginning of a new and exciting journey for all of them. The friendship between the four friends and the sisters grew even stronger, and the weekend on Florian Island became a cherished memory that they would all cherish forever. Luke described in detail the beauty of the island, the adventures they had, and the feelings that blossomed. He told how true love can emerge in the most unexpected moments and how life has its mysterious ways of bringing people together. His novel became a celebration of friendship, love, and second chances. Back in the city, Luke and Elizabeth continued to cultivate their relationship. Luke's novel, entitled The Enigma of the Cameo, became a success among his classmates and teachers, not only for its engaging narrative, but for being a testament to the power of destiny and true love. And so, the weekend on Florian Island was not just a break from studying, but a turning point in all of their lives, marking the beginning of new adventures and stories to be lived and told. Life in the city returned to its normal rhythm, but the four friends continued to meet regularly. Their experiences on the island strengthened their bonds and taught them valuable lessons about friendship, love, and the importance of following one's heart. They became more than friends. Were now a family, united by shared memories and dreams for the future. Luke, inspired by the success of his first novel, decided to continue writing. He found in writing a way to express his feelings and share his experiences with the world. His relationship with Elizabeth blossomed, and together, they embarked on new adventures, exploring the world and discovering new places and cultures. Ralph, inspired by his friendship with Elizabeth and their adventures on the island, decided to specialize in community medicine. He wanted to make a difference in people's lives, helping underprivileged communities and promoting health and well-being. His relationship with Marian also blossomed, and they became partners not only in life but also in their careers. Michael, always the shy and awkward one of the group, found in Marian a companion for adventure. They explored new places together, and Michael discovered a new sense of confidence and purpose. He decided to specialize in pediatrics, inspired by his love for children and his desire to make a difference in the lives of young people. Thomas, the quiet leader of the group, continued to be the pillar of support for his friends. He decided to specialize in surgery, using his skill and calmness to save lives and make a difference. His relationship with Mrs. Celeste grew even stronger, and he continued to visit Florian Island regularly, finding peace and inspiration in that special place. Mrs. Celeste, with her wisdom and generous heart, continued to be an important presence in the lives of the four friends. She became a mentor to them, offering advice and support whenever needed. Her home on Florian Island became a refuge for all of them, a place where they could reconnect with nature and each other. She always believed in the power of love and friendship, and seeing how her teachings influenced the lives of young people brought her great joy. She knew that although times change, some values are eternal. And so, their home continued to be a place of learning, growth, and discovery. As time went on, new adventures and challenges arose in the lives of the friends. They continued to support each other, facing life's ups and downs together. Their experiences on Florian Island gave them the strength and resilience needed to face any challenge that came their way. Luke and Elizabeth traveled the world, collecting stories and experiences that further enriched Luke's novels. Ralph and Marian worked together on community projects, bringing hope and health to many communities. Michael and Marian continued their adventures, exploring new places and creating unforgettable memories. Thomas, with his calm and skill, saved many lives and continued to be a leader and mentor to his friends. Every year, the friends gathered on Florian Island to reminisce about their adventures and renew their bonds. These gatherings became a tradition, a time to reflect on the past, celebrate the present, and look to the future. They shared stories, laughter, and sometimes tears, but they always left feeling renewed and strengthened. Florian Island continued to be a special place, a symbol of friendship, love, and growth. And so the story of Luke, Ralph, Michael, and Thomas was not just about a weekend on an island, but about the journey of their lives, about the bonds that united them, and the adventures that awaited them. Back in the city, Luke and Elizabeth continued to cultivate their relationship, now certain that they had found something special. Ralph and Marian also followed their own paths of discovery, and Michael, always clumsy but with a pure heart, he found a new sense of purpose and friendship in the group. Luke's novel, entitled The Enigma of the Cameo, became a success among his classmates and teachers, not only for its captivating narrative, but for being a testament to the power of destiny and true love. And so, the weekend on Florian Island was not just a break from studying, but a turning point in all their lives, marking the beginning of new adventures and stories to be lived and told.